welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing Put a Ring on It, which is OWN's new show given to us by Will Powerpacker. So let's get right into it. This show is really about couples who are in long-term relationships and whether or not they should move on to marriage. In the couple, there's one person who wants to get married and another person who isn't sure. So they are dating other people to figure out if that's what they want to do. Now, this is something that just feels really unorthodox to me, the idea of dating other people to figure out if you want to get married. I feel like it just introduces drama into a relationship, which is unnecessary, but it's a TV show, so we're just going to go along with the drama. So in this process, we have Dr. Nicole LaBeach, who is the therapist or coach and has been helping couples for, I think it was something like 20 years, figure out what they're doing in their relationships. We start off with them in group and them discussing what their issues are. So the first couple we have up is Hollywood and Ashley. They have been together for over 8 years and they seem to be really happy. Everything's great. They're really a great match. Hollywood explains that he has proposed to her before, and Ashley tells us that, yeah, he proposed, but after that, he was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Let's do this. I think we should date other people. Let's do this. Like, he was really back and forth, which made her very insecure in their relationship. So now she doesn't know if she wants to marry him or not. She doesn't want to make the wrong decision. But he's now ready. He said that he proposed to her in the first place because he felt like that's what she wanted. And so now he's created this situation where he feels like she should be ready now because he's ready and she don't feel like that. So then we got Shay and Mike, and they have been together, I guess officially for 2 years, and they were friends for 6 years, but they did, I'm not sure exactly what the timeline was, but they dated previously. She ended up still having feelings for her ex and went back to the ex, broke up with Mike, went back to the ex, and he went on dating. He got engaged to somebody else. Those relationships didn't work out, and then they came back together, and now she feels like they should get married, and he's not feeling it. Now, his excuse for not feeling it is that he said he felt forced to propose to the other girl he was with, and he thought that that would help him feel more confident, and it actually caused more issues in their relationship, and that was the demise of their relationship. So he doesn't want to do that with Shay. Also, Shay says that, I don't know if he's expressed this to her, but she feels that he wants to have a quick exit if something goes left in their relationship. He doesn't want to have to go through like splitting the house and divorce and all that process. And he just doesn't think that getting married is necessary. He seems to feel like a marriage is a contract and it's just being forced to do it. Which is, it just says to me, he's not ready for her, and if I was her, I would just nip it in the bud. But let's see how this all plays out. These are just my first impressions. Then we got Mimi and this man's name. Whew. I'll keep wanting to call him Ulysses, but that's not right. It's Euless. Euless. So Mimi and Euless have been together for 6 years, and they have this great balance. He picks up for where she's not as confident, and they fill each other's spaces, which is amazing. And he's very much a gentleman to her. He really caters to her, and she acknowledges all of those things. And he really wants to marry her, but the problems are the things that's happened in their past. He cheated on her, and they had split up. The reason they got back together was his closeness. I guess when her father got sick. So her father had a stroke, and that was the catalyst for them getting back together. Yeah. So from my first impressions of this couple, he seems to be more in it than she is. And I feel like she's not being fully honest with all the things that's bothering her, but it seems like deep worry. But that could also be a lot of what's going on with her father showing up in this space too. Dr. LaBeach tells the couples that marriage doesn't have any power, you do. You define it and make the rules and the boundaries. She notices that they're all struggling with fear, and some are scared of what will happen if they do get married, and the others are scared of what will happen if they don't. And so they're stuck or refusing to move forward. So then she surprises them with telling them what they're going to be doing to see if they should move forward or end the relationship is to date other people, which is a surprise to them, which is interesting. I would figure you would know what you were doing in this process, but it's a surprise to them. And they all seem willing to do it. The ladies seem a bit happier about the process than the men, and the ladies are all going first. So at home, Shay asks Mike what, she's allowed to do or she's not allowed to do, and he just doesn't give her any rules. He's confident that she knows what is acceptable, and he just comes off real cocky about the whole situation, and he's very sure of himself, and it also comes off a bit like he doesn't care, which is frustrating for her. Eulis says he does everything that he can to show Mimi that he loves her and that she'll see that, the grass isn't greener on the other side. And she feels like she keeps going around in circles with him. It sounds like they've broken up a lot and gotten back together, and she doesn't understand why she ends up back there, which sounds to me, she feels like the relationship's a little bit of a dead end. And it also sounds like whatever he's doing for her isn't enough. But, this one says that he still opens the door for her after 6 years. And I honestly have never heard that. I've never seen it. And, but he might be one of those men who manage to do the nice gentlemanly things on the surface, but are lacking the deeper responsibilities in a relationship. So it might be cute. He's like, I do this for you, I do that, I cook for you. Okay, but we're not communicating well. You're not open with me. You hide the truth about things. You know what I mean? Like, those things are important too. But we haven't seen that yet, so let's see how this goes. Okay. So Ashley is the first one to go on a date. She seems really excited about the date, and Hollywood is not feeling it at all. She's dressed in like what looks like workout clothes. He thinks it's too sexy, and but she's enjoying messing with him in this process. And so the date comes. Sky and Ray, fine, gorgeous, beautiful. Knocks on the door. She invites him in, and he comes in bold. But Hollywood tries to be cool. He shakes his hand, he says, what's up? Then he tries to lay down some ground rules. And Ray he's like mad confident. For someone who's coming into somebody else's relationship, you would think this guy would feel a little bit trepidatious, or reserved. But like, he's coming with the mouth and everything. Like, he does not give a damn how Hollywood feels. And, but he's a man, he's bossing up, he's showing that he's not a punk, and he came in very confident. I'm surprised that Hollywood didn't try and hit him. He did say he wanted to, but he kept it professional as they're part of this process. So Ray and Ashley go on a date where they're bike riding. They're clearly vibing. They have a lot in common. It's really cute. They really connect on that level. So I thought it was really interesting. They seem to... She saw some of the things that she was missing with Hollywood, but then also it's that thing of newness. You know how you get really excited about a new situation? And it was cute for her. So we go to Mimi, and her father, who has had the stroke, is not doing well. He's deteriorating fast. And the doctor's on the phone with her talking about a DNR, do not resuscitate, which she's not ready to discuss. And, her and her partner are visibly distraught about the situation. So she does not go on her date, which to me I can understand how this, like, her father is her life. Like, he did everything for her and her sister and whatnot. So I can see how that could be very, like, a very tough thing to go through, and it'd be difficult to deal with that in this process. But I also feel like there's a little bit of a cop-out. You could have still gone on the date. If this is something that you're really thinking about going through with your partner, if you don't want to be with them, this is something that you should still give time and energy to. And the fact that she didn't says to me that she's not ready for this process. So Shay goes on her date with Andre, who is cute, very attractive, nice chocolate brother. He comes in with flowers, which is new for Shay. She's never had anyone bring her flowers on a first date. And he talks about his past relationship, where he wanted to get married and the girl didn't, and so they didn't move forward. And so, you know, then she starts talking about her current relationship, which to me is awkward. You're on the date and you're talking about your man, but I guess in this process it's kind of unconventional and it should be something to speak about. So she talks about the fact that he was engaged before and doesn't want to get married now, which Andre finds very funny, and blatantly says to her that it seems that he might just not want to get married to you because men know what they want and they're about locking things down, so there's no question, there's no doubt or any confusion. And it cut her deep, because for her, she was like, oh, okay, well, he's capable of getting engaged, but I really agree with him. I actually have had this conversation with somebody in the past where it's like, okay, yeah, I think for him, he just didn't want to marry you. And I can understand how that can cut deep, but that truth was something that, you know, she had to really think about. And I think it's something that was going to be a process for her to accept. But I agree with him. And I really don't think they are going to make it at the end of this process. Back home, Ashley and Hollywood talk about her date, and he asked her if they held hands or kissed or anything, and she's like, of course not, we didn't do anything like that. He was a perfect gentleman and whatnot. And he asked her if she would go out with him again, and she said, you know, if it wasn't for him, she would think about going out with him again. She was very cautious of how she answered that question, because, you know, he was very much in his feelings about the process. And she was like, yo, you better hate your date when it's your time. You better hate your date. But I just find it really, really interesting. It's like, if you're going to do this, then do this. Like, you clearly like the guy, so be a little bit more open, because your man has to do the same thing. So back to group, and Ashley talks to the group and Dr. Nicola Beach about her date experience. So it starts off with Hollywood holding her hand, and Ashley starts talking about what she liked about him, what she didn't like, and how he compares to Hollywood. He like lets go of her hand, starts like physically his behavior towards her changes, and which Dr. LaBeach makes notice of. Then she asks Mimi how her date was, and then she admits that she didn't go on one, which is like, what's going on? She explains about, you know, they're in the process of losing her father. I'm not sure if he has passed at this point or if he's just on the edge. It wasn't very clear, but Doctor says that they should really, her and Lord, this man's name, her and a man should really lean on each other at this time, because if they don't, they lose the anchor that they had in the father. And because Mimi's father is like a father to him too, that's how close they are. It's like they have a bromance. And if they lose that anchor and they don't lean on each other, that is just going to be mayhem in their relationship. So she's trying to talk them into making sure that they lean on each other. Shay says that she loved that Andre came with such clarity in what he wants compared to Mike. And Doc asks Mike how he feels about that, and he's just like, it's all good, it's whatever. And Shay really doesn't like that. He's coming off as if he doesn't give a damn what happens, because he has Shay wrapped around his finger. Like, he's very confident. He feels like he fills her cup, And then that's all good, and she's giving all the faces, like she's not impressed by this at all, and she's very frustrated. She wants to see a little jealousy, like how Hollywood presented, because it makes her feel like he feels something, and she feels like she's being taken for granted. And Mike says that he does feel something, but he just doesn't show it. And Doc tells him that that's cheating. You need to like express what you're feeling, what you're going through. So Doc asks Shay if she'd go out with Andre again. And she's like, yeah, he's great, but he's too short. And I remember just looking at the two of them sitting next to each other, it was like she was an Amazon and he was a little person. He was straight up confident with himself and everything. But yeah, it just was like awkward. But if it works for you, like, good for you. Ashley says that she won't go out with Ray again, and it's all because of her relationship, which doesn't make much sense because of this is the process. And what you gonna do when your man decides that he likes whoever he's going out with? I thought it was like it's like he threw a tantrum and she bent to his will and is doing herself a disservice. So next week is going to be the guys going on their dates. I don't think that Mimi and Eulis are going to make it through this process. I think what's going on with her dad is too big for them to be able to focus on doing this, and they're going to end up bowing out. And it looks like we're going to see a new couple coming out. I'm not sure how this process is going to work or how long it's going on for, but it just feels to me like they're not going to make it through. Shay and Mike, I don't feel like they're going to end up together. I think if he doesn't want what she wants, he needs to stop wasting her time. And he may not know it, or maybe he does and he's just not telling her and she's just a placeholder at the meantime. But she needs to find somebody who wants what she wants. I feel like Ashley and Holly are probably the only two who are going to make it through, but I feel like it's going to be messy and we're going to see some entanglements. So the show so far, like, start off was cool, and I'm very interested to see how it grows. I'm a single woman, so it's great for me to be able to watch a show where I can learn about what couples go through and the process of wanting to get married. For me, I kind of feel like if I'm dating somebody seriously, that would be, I would be doing that with marriage in mind. It would never get to this point for me. That's how I feel about it. Maybe that's why I'm single. But yeah, I love seeing shows like this where I can learn and grow, especially with Black folk. I love this. So tell me what you guys thought of these couples so far. Oh, I forgot to say also, the people who are coming in to date these people in relationships, I feel like this is kind of awkward. I've actually even wondered if they were actors, because the way they've come in so confident into somebody else's home, that's a couple. I'm just like, it just feels like, what kind of messy person are you? And it's something about that that's just real off to me. But yeah, I guess, like, why would you, because it's like you go on a second date, and why would you go on a second date with somebody who's in a relationship? It just feels very icky to me, but I'm still here for the process and the learning and just to see how this plays out. And if at the end I just feel like it was complete bullshit and just for show. Yeah, so like, tell me what you guys think about this show and this concept, and let's see how things move forward. I watched also the first episode of Ready to Love, which isn't really it's going into who the people are that we're going to see. So I'm not going to do a review of that. We're going to wait till next week and see how everything plays out. These people are from Houston and they're in a resort, which is really interesting. And we got some real interesting people there. There's like one dude who has 5 children. 5. Like, that's an absolute no. That is a no, honey. But anyway, let's see how these people react to everyone's backstory. It seems like a lot of them are divorced and have children. So, you know, it might work out for them to see how it plays out. I don't know what I just said. But anyway, we're going to see about that next week, as well as episode 2 of Put a Ring on It. Thank you so much. Thank you guys guys so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.